Hey, what's up guys? This is going to be a TvZ on, I think this is Newkirk Precinct. I believe that's the name of this map, sorry guys. It is going to be me, Peacekeeper, down in the bottom right, versus Infinite, spawning as the blue Zerg. And, it's a pretty interesting game, I thought. It goes on for pretty long. No real cheese. Although I am at one point scared that he's going to bailing bust me. But I will see if that comes true. And yeah, just choose a really slow, methodical playstyle where I get quite early siege tanks. And behind that get a reasonably timed third. The reason I'm going for siege tanks instead of Hellions or Widow Mines from the factory is just because bailing busts have been really popular, and Zerg's getting pretty good at sending one ling at a time up beforehand to detonate your Widow Mines. And you know, if the Widow Mines don't get cost effective, they kill one ling each, it's just kind of like, wow, they're just going to sit there for 40 seconds doing nothing while they break bangs, bust through my wall, and kill all my Marines. So I'm going to put a reactor on my barracks as well as a factory with a tech lab on it. After 2 Reapers, I'm doing a Reaper expand with a 12 barracks, 12 gas opening. The Zerg, on the other hand, doing just some pretty normal stuff. He did expand at 15. We're going to build up a bit more, build a spawning pool, go into gas if he wants to get early speed, just because getting early speed has kind of become a standard for Zerg, just because they need to be able to defend against Reapers. If they kind of ignore speed and go for a more greedy kind of playstyle, they can end up losing a bunch of drones, especially if the Terran commits to more than 2 Reapers, because 3 Reapers can take out a singular Queen, and with their ability to be faster than speedless lings, they can just kite around targeting the Queens, and losing a Queen this early in the game is a really big deal. And so it does not look like he makes a gas straight away, at least, but you know, he's sending out this drone. I wonder what it's going to do. Is it going to build a third? Okay, so it's going to go, the Zerg does look like he is going to go for an earlier third, and this actually doesn't, I think I do spot it with this Reaper, so that does put me kind of in a good spot, just because I was planning to play conservative, and usually I only get my command center after my first tank pops out, but this time I can get it before my tank even starts, I think. Oh, yeah, so my Reaper does spot this. I do still need to be careful about some kind of weird all-in, because there are some all-ins where you make a third as a macro hatch, so you have that extra production for lings and stuff, so we'll see what happens. But behind this, Zerg's just making 2 queens and 4 lings, really standard stuff. I think I get 1 drone kill with this Reaper. Some mining time lost here. Everything that's good for me. 2 lings do pop out though, so I do start kiting back. He does pull it away in time, and my second Reaper does arrive behind this. This is a problem with doing some Reaper harass, to be honest, because I was 50 gas late on that reactor. It means it was like 50 seconds of me just not moving the barracks to build a reactor, and so that delays my Marine production into the mid game, which could do a lot of damage actually if he goes for some kind of all-in. I only have 2 Marines or whatever. But yeah, I should be having a tech lab on this factory anytime now. My second gas is out on the way, just because tank production does eat up a lot of gas, and I do want to add on to engineering bays behind the 3rd command center. And it looks like, yeah, it's pretty standard now. Zerg has done a really nice job of injecting and just kind of building up his drone count. He is building a bunch more lings. I think he wants to make sure he can take out the Reapers. If I've made more, then yeah, he really wants to have more than just 4 lings around to try and take them out. Looks like I'm slightly behind. It means lost. I've killed 1 worker, and that means I've killed a few lings as well, so 2 lings. Not too bad of a trade. The Reaper that died did technically trade evenly, and taking into consideration the wasted mining time and stuff, it's pretty good. My first Marines are being rallied out into my bunker. My factory is rallying over here, just so I can put my first tank in a really safe place. The reasoning behind this is because my wall off isn't complete. I don't want to put my tank on the low ground, because if he goes for some sort of speed link, baneling all in, he can just go straight past my bunker, surrounding my tank, and then taking care of the bunker, as well as any SCVs attempting to reach this bunker for repairs. So, although this siege tank won't hit like this edge of the ramp, and only around this space, it's just kind of worth it to make sure that your tank doesn't die to any silly run-bys. And so double eBay has started. My upgrades are rolling now, so they should be in a pretty good spot pretty soon. I'm gonna spot this overlord, and I will unload these marines, go and take it out, but I'm a bit scared that it's like a retard magnet or something, that are banelings and lings waiting here. There are a bunch of lings here, but my tank does shoot them away. And this number of lings there's no way that's gonna break through a solid wall like that. But yeah, I am fully saturated in my main, so I am double rallying to my natural so I can build the SCV count up down there. My SCV count overall is pretty good. 36 at 9 minutes. Could be a bit higher, to be honest. I do want to be around 48 at 10 minutes, but obviously I don't have 300 APM, I can't micro reapers perfectly and make workers at the same time very well. So yeah, 1-1's about to finish. My armory is nowhere to be seen, so my 2-2 is going to be delayed, which is a slight mistake, but shouldn't worry too much about that. Yeah, my opponent's getting missile attacks, burrows, as well as an infestation pit and a bunch of roaches, so it does look like he was going to go over some sort of roach play in the mid game. Interesting choice. He might think I'm going mech just because he saw like a small number of marines and like quite an early tank. So he could be thinking that I'm going mech and he wants to overwhelm me with roaches when I push up. But we'll see what's up. Armory out on the way, starport out on the way. I should add 2 more barracks here. My building placement is quite neat, and this can become pretty crucial in the late game, just because if you start, like if you don't put your buildings in nice lines with enough space in between them, like the bigger units like Thor's, tanks, they start getting stuck in your base, or if you don't place your buildings in the most efficient way, a lot of the times you'll just waste a lot of space, and you won't be able to put as many buildings in there as you might want to. Looks like the Zerg opponent is taking a 4th base after making a few units to try and take out these rocks as well for a 5th base. And he is getting pathogen glands for the infestor energy, so he might do some sort of roach infestor play, which is pretty nice. And with the baneling nest as well, he shouldn't have any problems offering in some banelings. With that 4th base and the gas that will be available there, that would be his 7th and 8th gas, so that should really boost his income to a point where he can build a lot of gas heavy units. And yeah, if he catches my marines in big clumps with the 10 range on fungal, it can be pretty unforgiving, but it is slightly easier to dodge now, so hopefully I do a good enough job with that. And 2-2 is out on the way. Stim combat shields +1 vehicle weapons is out on the way. I'm adding some turrets just for safety. I don't want to get caught off by mutas. And at this point, you know, I have quite a few minerals, so it's not a big deal to throw down those 4 turrets. And also, an bird infestor play can be a bit annoying if you don't have turrets in your main. Yeah, as I said before, I'm playing really turtley style, so I did move my tanks forward kind of conservatively behind this building block and adding bunkers and spreading my marines reasonably well. Only at 2 medevacs at this point, just because I know I'm not going to be aggressive out on the map for a while. Medevacs are only good. Well, their main strength is to drop as well as support your bio units. So when you're out on the map, because you want to be constantly stimming here and there, zoning out the opponent as well as in engagements. Just medevacs healing marines and marauders is just really nice, just because it increases the longevity and effectiveness of those marines. I should be trying to I do complete this wall with supply depots and buildings. So if he does roll in with banelings, you know, it's pretty good to have a wall with tanks behind it. And I should build some stuff here in case the opponent tries to get some sort of pincer movement going. Looking at my SCV count, it's perfect right now, 73. So my income should be pretty good. I do need to move some of them from my natural to my third though, so I haven't fully saturated all three bases equally. Oh, excuse me. And looks like with 2-2 done, 3-3 out on the way, +1 weapons for my tanks done, I am going to push out. My opponent is kind of waiting over here. He should have, yeah, he does have the watchtower. His creep spread is quite nice. It is halfway across the map right now, which means I kind of have to siege up at the fringes of his creep, especially with his army here, to try and take this creep out before I start moving my tanks forward. And my tanks already sieged up in a nice position. Some of my marines are a bit too far forward. These two tanks are not firing for some of this fight. And those two infestors are doing a really nice job of fungling a lot of the marines, and they do aid the roaches in their DPS. Roaches alone, a lot of the time with medevac and upgraded marines, they just don't have the DPS to try and kill the marines before the tanks and marine DPS take them out. But yeah, with those nice fungals, he did a nice job of just making sure that a lot of my marines died, which makes me pause my push a bit. And I just want to talk about this creep because, you know, I still have tanks back here. We've engaged twice, and I've only moved from here to here. So creep is a really nice delaying tool for the Zerg. You know, Zerg does have that really nice production capability. And as long as he can buy some time for my push to reach his base, he can engage my army multiple times. This is the third engagement that we've had. I'm not even reached any of his hatcheries yet. And he's kind of whittled my army down, so I'm forced to pull back right now. I do have a really solid economy though behind this, so I am pretty good to just macro up. My production facilities are pretty good. 8 barracks, 2 factories, a starport, 3-3 out on the way, but I'd say 80% done, and as well as +2 vehicle weapons. Nearing the halfway point, 2 more barracks being added, more command centers. I should take out these rocks to take this base because it is such a safe base. I could just finish this wall off, put a tank here, and never really worry about it as long as I put some turrets. And yeah, it looks like he is going to be aggressive with this little army. 2-2 is finished from missile attacks, +2 armor, and 0 attacks for the melee units. But yeah, with this kind of army moving into this position is kind of a mistake. 3 bunkers are here, tanks positioned really nicely. A lot of bio here with medevac support. And yeah, with 3-3 done, they're just going to tear this army to shreds. So that was a really nice little sacrifice of him to make to me. My SV count is a bit too high, but I am going to put on constant pressure, so hopefully that will kind of help me. If you macro well enough behind your pushes, with this many SCVs, you should be able to constantly push. Like if he cleans out your marines and your tanks survive, you should be able to back that up with 2 more tanks and 20 marines, and slow push your way across the map again. And Zerg is on a really nice job of re-spreading his creep. A lot of Zergs, once their creep has been pushed back once, they kind of neglect spreading again, but he's doing a really nice job, because now yet again, if I push out, I have to stop here, clear this out, unsiege, if you siege them here, move forward again, take these out, and he's making a bunch of spine crawlers, which should even more delay my push across the map. Looks like I am going to push across, +2 attack for vehicles, as well as +3-3 is finished for my marines. I am adding 2 more command centers behind us. So my SCVs are not mining at this point, which is a bit of a waste. They should be doing at least something, but I'm fully saturated on 3 bases, so to be honest, there aren't too much useful stuff they can do. And he's getting nice fungals in. He did forget baneling speed, looks like, so that's a big mistake for him. A lot of the roaches are blocking some of the banelings, but that does let the tanks get some really nice shots off. I do bring these SCVs to try and repair my tanks, and the roach DPS is just not enough with these marines in the back DPSing them down. And it does look like a Ling Infestor Force does push in here. A few infestors do go down. Nice fungal clump right there, but he couldn't get in range to finish those marines off. It does look like I'm transferring to this 4th base location. Pretty nice for me. 4 base Terran. Well, it is 3 base economy again, and that's really what I kind of have to rely on as a Terran. going into the late game to constantly have 3 bases mining, so I can keep up with the production as well as, you know, the income of a Zerg. Behind us, he's still making lings, and I feel like this is a big mistake just because they don't have any, you know, they don't have upgrades at all. +1 is just starting, and where's that spawning point? They don't have adrenal glands, like, that's a big mistake. Those lings are going to be really cost inefficient. Commander tank with 32 kills, that's pretty sick, and this one's a commander with 20 kills. Commander with 28 kills. Yeah, these tanks are really paying themselves really nicely. I'm adding some marauders to try and take out any roaches that he adds to his army, as well as the infestors. Because marauders can tank fungal quite nicely now because the removal of the extra damage to armored units, it's just 30 damage, and that means they have 95 health left after one fungal. So I do, as I see I've cleared out most of the creeps, so I do move forward with all my tanks on siege there, but I am quite conservative in the way I move forward. I stay out of vision, I scan ahead to take out the creep. And +3 vehicle up is about to finish, and my tanks are in a really nice spread position. My bio is like kind of hugging these walls. So it does look like we do engage, and nice fungals landing on the bio. So a lot of the binlings do connect quite nicely, but a lot of the bio does survive with these medevacs, and with widow mines in between these 5 tanks. He's gonna have a hard time pushing in there, so he does pull back. And more spines here, more delaying tactics by him, really nicely done. If these spines weren't here, I would be attacking this hatchery right now. My tanks would be attacking the hatcheries right now. So yeah, Zerg really knows the importance of delaying Terran pushes, spotting it, forcing me to burn scans. But I do have 7 tanks now, and 7 tanks all sieged up in a nice position with bio to tank for it is just gonna do such a nice job against these banelings and lings. 2 of my tanks are in the process of sieging when he does attack into my army. My bio does get surrounded there, but the tanks do a really nice job of trying to clean this up. 49 kills for that one, 42 kills for this, 43. Does it get? Oh yeah, I guess 52 kills. Wow, it's a hero fucking siege tank right there. Looks like I do take the supply lead. He did take kind of an inefficient trade there. 7 tanks, just too good, and a 6 kill widow mine helped out a lot as well. I'm mixing in a few widow mines here and there, just so, because at this point he doesn't really expect widow mines. He thinks I'm going pure tank in terms of the factory units. So if he runs into lings kind of carelessly and big clumps of them get taken out, these widow mines can get pretty cost efficient. And I am building some bunkers here because I want to kind of wedge my army in between his 3rd base and his 4th base, so I can start damaging that. But he does come in yet again, trying to push my army back. Most of my tanks do get taken out, all of them actually, with none to reinforce for now. But with these bunkers finishing, I should have a nice position to fall back to for my bio. Infested Terrans, kind of a bad choice in my opinion, because they don't benefit from upgrades anymore, so my 3 Marines with medevac support just kind of own them. More fungals, but I mean, laying fungals on bio with this many medevacs above when you have nothing to, like no more DPS to add to try and kill off the bio, you could have a pretty bad time. But looks like I did kill some of his workers here. He's killed a bunch of mine, which is good for me. I have pulled some to the front for repair, but I'm still oversaturated. I have way too many SCVs right now. A lot of them are idle over here, which is a big mistake. And a lot of, like, there's only 6 SCVs worth of minerals here, and there's 33. I should really secure this base and this base a lot earlier. But I'm kind of preoccupied with trying to micro and position all my bio and tanks around here. And this base is pretty much dead. There's no way he can try and squeeze through here. There's 2 bunkers here, 4 tanks, all ready to take on these lings and banelings, and +2 is just now on the way. 5 ultras are coming out though with kindness plating. I do load up a drop. I actually send them wrong medevac there. And with ravens here, I do make a nice little auto turret wall. And I did get the building armor, so they have 3 armor. Building armor is quite nice to get if you are gonna do these kind of wall off styles as well as planetaries. A planetary with that +2 armor is just so good. I do get a bit cocky with these tanks, playing them in front of us auto turrets, and 2 of them are on siege when this engagement happens. So even though I have a really nice position set up here, it does look like he will be able to break through with these Ultralisks. These Infestor turns may be a little bit overkill. He could have a lot more energy left on these Infestors if he didn't spend that. Corvid Reactor out on the way as well. Looks like I do intend to build a lot more Ravens and a lot of air into the late game. I mean, a lot of Zergs, even in Wings of Liberty, were saying that a Battlecruiser Raven Viking force with like some ground support is pretty much unbreakable as a Zerg. And I'm just kind of counting on that. My SCV count is still way too high. I am splitting 24 as well as 16 SCVs up over here, and it looks like Zerg's really relieved that he finally was able to like kind of wriggle out of that stranglehold I had on him, denying this base as well as this base. But at this point he has really nice production. He has so many hatcheries across the map. Some nice tech as well, you know. He's got Hive. He can go into Greater Spire if he wants to. He can go back into Ultralisks. He did lose that Ultralisk Cavern, so he is stuck at the 5 that he has right now. They are at 6 armor, which is really nice for him because a lot of my army is Marine, and they only do 9 damage. So like 9 minus 6 is 3 damage a shot against Ultralisks. It's gonna be a lot of shots for a Marine to have to shoot at an Ultralisk before he gets taken out. But my tank, so with plus 3 attack, 65 damage a shot. That's really nice for me, and Battlecruiser is out on the way. Pretty nice for me. I'm gonna have to try and defend this with this planetary as well as his bio and tank position. Does look like he makes the mistake of kind of engaging with half his army at each side. Like, that army is a lot bigger than mine, so if he had just kind of like rolled down the side and maybe moved some lings across this way, he could have taken out my army and then taken out this PF. But because only half of his army was engaging my army, my whole army just kind of took out his half of his army, and this PF dying is not a big deal. I have a lot of income coming from this one, and because I had a lot of minerals, I am just kind of putting down 2 more. That should allow me to add another orbital here, and I'm just playing really conservatively behind this, positioning tanks in nice positions. And with some Battlecruisers now, as well as Marauder production kicking in, I'm making a few Banshees as well, because I know he has basically no anti-air. He's making a bunch of Vipers, which is a nice move. Blinding Cloud on tanks is really nice, because he sees that I'm emphasizing the tank play. So if I don't really nicely spread my tanks, or if I don't snipe off the Vipers before they get the Blinding Clouds off, he gets some really cost-efficient trades up. And 2 Battlecruisers done. Mixing in a few Battlecruisers into your tank bio army is just really nice, just because he doesn't expect Battlecruisers right now, and they can just sit on top of his army, kind of picking off at Lings, Ultralisks, Infestors, maybe even take out Vipers. So yeah, hopefully it'll be pretty good, and he does this really nice job of moving forward with some burrowed Infestors. He does miss that scan range by a tiny bit. I am at 8 tanks, really nice count right now. If I get into a nice sieged up position, I should be able to do some good damage. And finally, this time, looks like he doesn't really spread the creep. He is killing a bunch of SCVs back home, but I'm not too worried about that, because I know I was oversaturated. I am at a really nice count now. But setting up at the mouth of this choke with tanks is just really hard for the Zerg to engage. I do send forward some bio to try and bait out some of the units so my tanks can take some pot shots at it. But it does look like I do take out the Queen. My tank spread is really nice all the way across here with bio protecting it. It does look like he does move in. Our APM is just shooting up right now. And these Battlecruisers getting some nice Yamatos off. Banshees, Battlecruisers just sitting on top of the Zerg army and just DPSing stuff down, and that's really nice. And I am ahead in supply yet again. He is remaxing on Ultralisks and Lings. He doesn't have that many Infestors left, I don't think. He's down to 5 Infestors. Okay, that's not too bad, but I think a few of them are like somewhere roaming around my base, trying to kill stuff. No, never mind. Okay, all its Infestors are here, so yeah, I do take the supply lead. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I've been able to keep the Zerg from really kind of making an army of death with broodlords and stuff, because if he switches into broodlords now, I could be in a bit of trouble just because of my marauder count, as well as the lack of Vikings. Yeah, I'm making Vikings now, because I know he's probably going to make Corruptors try and counter my Battlecruisers, and the natural follow-up to Corruptors is broodlords, so I'm adding a bunch of Thors as well, to add that extra splash damage against the Corruptors. Because his Corruptors are obviously going to target down Battlecruisers, and if these BCs survive, because my Marines and Thors could help DPS them down, that'd be really nice. This Sensor has been here incomplete since like the 12-minute mark, and it's kind of annoying me, but whatever. I do transfer a bunch of workers over to here. 77 workers. I'm slightly over what I want. I think 70 to 72 is a perfect amount, but yeah, it's not too bad, to be honest. I am nearly maxed out. My army composition is looking pretty nice. 5 Battlecruisers, 2 tanks, 2 Thors, a bunch of bio. My bio kind of kites backwards behind the tanks to try and avoid too cost-efficient Baneling hits. But it does look like the Ultras do survive through this battle, and I am Yamatoing some of them to try and damage them down. But he only has 3 Corruptors here, and these Battlecruisers are going to take down because they are on just 1 upgrade, even though mine are as well. But I have 4 armor right now on those Battlecruisers, and that's going to do really nicely for them. I feel like this is a big mistake that a lot of Zergs make. When they win a fight and have a few Ultras left, they just move them into the enemy's base. But like this command center, not a big deal to lose for me. But these 3 Ultras, that's a pretty big deal. Like look at his supply. He's like struggling to max out again. He's just really low on gas, and you know these Ultras were not cheap on the gas front. And as long as I save this planetary, you know, killing these 3 Ultras is really good for me. I'm sending a bunch of Marines over to try and kill him. And you know, this 5 armor planetary, that building armor really helped it out. How much damage does this thing do? Yeah, 44. Yeah, -5. You know, that's only 39 instead of 44. It's really nice for me. I do save the planetary. He does kill a bunch of more workers, so I am a bit low on workers now. But I do have, I believe, close to 5 orbitals, so I should be able to mule 5 at a time. He has built up a really nice Corruptor count. I'm adding +2 ship weapons. He's going to try and engage my Battlecruisers here. But as long as my bio backs it up, they should be pretty good. He does take out 2 of the Battlecruisers pretty fast with those abducts. But he does back off when he sees my bio and Thors to back this up. These Thors actually doing 9 damage, 4 shots. That's a lot of damage against clumped up Corruptors. He is making a bunch more Lings. He opts to go Lings instead of Infestors because he just doesn't have the gas. But yeah, I do have 5 Battlecruisers yet again. A bunch of mech is building up nicely. Looks like he's going to into Broodlords, but he just doesn't have the gas to really mass produce them right now. And small amounts of Broodlords just really aren't that cost effective at all. It just doesn't spawn enough broodlings to hold back the bio, and without infestors to pin down the bio either. Bio can just stim forward after taking out the banelings with tanks to snipe off those Battlecruisers. Looks like, broodlords. 6 Battlecruisers, 3 Thors, a lot of bio, a lot of medevacs as well, which is really nice for my bio to get healed up right here. His army does move forward and spots mine moving forward. The creep yet again has been kind of stopped on this side. Overall, 1 scan should take out all the creep over here. And yeah, I'm just kind of encroaching onto his 6th base. Killing this won't really affect his income just because I guess he needs that gas, so. But yeah, that just kind of makes the production a bit smaller for him, which is nice for me. Lightning clouds do land, but a lot of the bio has pulled back in time to kind of escape that. A lot of Yamato's coming down onto the Corruptors, and that is a 1-shot kill on Corruptors. These 2 Broodlords moving forward, big mistake. My bio's going to stim forward. I have a bunch of Marines left, and with 3-3 finished, and basically no upgrades for him, they do get taken out quite nicely there. And these Corruptors are pretty useless now. As long as I protect my Battlecruisers with my Marines and engage them together, like, He might kill these Belikers, but he's gonna lose all his Corruptors, and that's the only army supply he has right now. Plus 5 armor, pretty nice. That does decrease damage to 17 from 22. So Thor's over here to back this up as well. He's just lost all of his Corruptors, and he does GG out now, which is a wise choice. The game is pretty much over. I'm 100 supply ahead. Yeah, he's not larva blocked or anything. He has a lot of gas, but he just knows I'm in this position, and he has 12 lings building. Like, he's not gonna hold this off. So yeah, that was a really fun game for me. I really like playing the defensive slow style where I kind of bunker up, siege my tanks, you know, have really epic like battles with Zergs. I love doing that. And kudos to Zerg for having really nice creep spread throughout this game. I mean, it wasn't like Scarlet level where it was like all the way over here, but you know, he spread it in the main avenues of attack. So it did delay my pushes quite a bit. I feel like I do forget drops though when I play this kind of playstyle, and it is working out for me so far, so I'm not complaining or anything, but I should probably try and mix in some drops here and there. Doing like a double drop, one here and one in the main could do a lot of damage in like the early late game and mid game if I'm preoccupying him with being sieged up right here or whatever. So yeah, little lesson learned, don't overmake SCVs. I think if my armies were a bit bigger, because more supply had freed up, then I could have finished them off a bit earlier. But yeah, just constantly adding production facilities as well as macroing up solidly behind your pushes just really lets you win against Zergs at this level, you know. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys next time.